Stories like this remind us that truth has a way of finding the light, no matter how deeply it is buried. Now let's begin. Stop. You're being set up. The voice exploded through the crowded courtroom. Every head turned. The judge froze. The reporters stopped writing. Even the security officers looked toward the back of the room. Standing there was a man nobody expected to speak. A single father in worn-out work boots. His name was Ethan Carter. And within 11 minutes, one of the most powerful lawyers in the state would be led away in handcuffs. But to understand why that happened, you have to go back 3 years earlier. Back before Ethan became known as the man who exposed a conspiracy that shocked an entire city. Back when he was simply a father trying to survive. Ethan's life changed forever on a rainy October night. His wife, Melissa, never came home. A drunk driver crossed the center line and hit her vehicle. The call came just after midnight. Ethan remembered every detail. The ringing phone. The trembling voice of the police officer. The silence afterward. And then the unbearable realization that he would have to tell their 6-year-old daughter, Lily, that her mother was gone. The next morning was the hardest day of his life. Lily sat at the kitchen table eating cereal. She smiled and asked when Mommy would wake up. Ethan felt his heart break. He knelt beside her. Tears streamed down his face. And somehow he found the words. Lily cried herself to sleep that night. So did Ethan. For months afterward, life became a blur. Hospital bills. Funeral expenses. Mortgage payments. School fees. Every day felt like a mountain he had to climb, carrying a weight that never got lighter. But he kept moving. Because Lily needed him. Every morning he packed her lunch. Every evening he helped with homework. Every night he sat beside her bed until she fell asleep. Sometimes he cried after she was asleep. Sometimes he cried while driving to work. But he never let her see how frightened he was. One evening, after another exhausting shift at the construction company where he worked, Ethan found Lily sitting on the porch. She held a drawing in her hands. "Look, Daddy." He smiled. The picture showed their family. Mom. Dad. Lily. And above them, a bright sun. Ethan noticed something. Melissa had wings. Lily looked at him. "I know Mommy isn't here anymore." His throat tightened. "But I think she's watching us." Ethan couldn't speak. He simply hugged his daughter and held her tighter than ever. That moment became his reason to keep going. Years passed. Life remained difficult. Money was always tight. But Ethan and Lily built something stronger than either of them realized. They built resilience. Then, one ordinary Tuesday morning, everything changed. Ethan arrived at a downtown office building to repair damaged equipment. The company had contracted his construction team for maintenance work. While carrying tools through the lobby, he noticed a woman arguing with a security guard. She appeared frustrated. Elegant. Professional. And completely out of place among the chaos. The guard refused to let her enter. "I'm telling you, I own this company," she said. The guard shook his head. "I have instructions from the board." The woman looked stunned. Ethan wasn't trying to listen. But the conversation caught his attention. The woman eventually walked away. Her shoulders slumped. For some reason, Ethan felt sorry for her. He didn't know her name. Didn't know her story. And had no idea their lives were about to collide. The woman's name was Victoria Sinclair. At 38 years old, she was the CEO of Sinclair Technologies, a company founded by her late father. Or at least she had been CEO until that morning. Victoria had spent 15 years building the company. She sacrificed relationships, vacations, personal happiness. Everything. Then, after recovering from a serious illness that kept her away for several months, she returned to discover something impossible. Her own board had voted her out. According to documents presented by their legal team, she had approved decisions that damaged shareholder interests. Victoria knew the allegations were false. She never signed those documents. Yet every piece of evidence seemed to say otherwise. The board's attorney, Marcus Hale, assured everyone the paperwork was legitimate. The signatures matched. The records matched. The witnesses matched. Everything matched. Victoria felt trapped. Nobody believed her. Not even longtime colleagues. Especially not the media. Headlines appeared immediately. CEO accused of corporate misconduct. Shareholder scandal rocks Sinclair Technologies. Questions surround Victoria Sinclair. The reputation she spent years building collapsed within days. Meanwhile, Ethan knew nothing about any of it. His world revolved around construction jobs and raising Lily. Until fate intervened. A week later, Ethan and Lily visited a small diner after school. Rain hammered the windows. The restaurant was nearly empty. Then the door opened. Victoria entered. She looked exhausted. Defeated. Lost. Most people recognized her immediately. A few whispered. Others stared. Victoria noticed. She always noticed. She ordered coffee and sat alone. Several customers continued watching her. Judging her. Assuming the headlines were true. Ethan saw it happen. And something about it bothered him. Maybe because he remembered how people treated him after Melissa died. How quickly they formed opinions without knowing the truth. He walked over. Mind if my daughter and I sit here? Victoria looked surprised. Why? Ethan shrugged. Because nobody should drink coffee alone looking that sad. For the first time in weeks, Victoria laughed. A small laugh. But a genuine one. Lily smiled. And just like that, an unexpected friendship began. Over the following months, they met occasionally. Never anything romantic. Just friendship. Conversations. Shared struggles. Victoria talked about losing her company. Ethan talked about losing his wife. Both understood pain. Both understood loneliness. And both understood what it felt like when the world moved on while you were still trying to heal. One evening Victoria confessed something. I think someone inside the company framed me. Ethan listened. I just can't prove it. She looked down. Every piece of evidence points to me. Then maybe someone worked very hard to make it look that way. Victoria stared at him. That's exactly what I think. What neither of them knew was that they were much closer to the truth than anyone imagined. Because Marcus Hale wasn't merely defending the board. He was controlling it. Manipulating it. And hiding secrets worth millions. Secrets that would destroy careers. Secrets that would send people to prison. And most importantly, secrets that would eventually place Ethan Carter directly in the crosshairs. The trouble began when Ethan discovered something he was never supposed to see. A simple mistake. An overlooked document. A forgotten storage room. At first it seemed insignificant. But it would soon threaten everything Marcus Hale had built. And once Marcus realized Ethan possessed information that could expose him, the single father and his daughter would find themselves facing dangers they never imagined. The battle for truth was about to begin. And nobody yet realized that a construction worker in worn-out boots was about to bring down one of the most powerful legal figures in the state. The countdown had already started. And 11 minutes in a courtroom would eventually change everything. To be continued.